Hey everyone, how you doing? Imran from Squadron. I'm just sorting out something for a client just as I'm about to go live, and I realize, oh, we're nearly there. I actually had a couple of minutes, but I've just decided to jump on and start now. Hope you're all doing okay. We do have a little bit of a topic today. Obviously, whenever we go live, the conversation could go all over the place, and this is the keep it real, hardcore, no shit, no bullcrap shit, or whatever going on kind of live chat. So if we want to say something, we'll put it out there. But what I wanted to talk to you some about, because we want to have a little bit of a topic, something to kickstart the live chat, is how many of you are thinking about giving up? And when I say giving up, I mean in terms of web design, freelancing, your business. And it might not just be web design or your business. It might be that you're struggling and you feel like giving up. Hey, chill star, how you doing? Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to gain weight. Maybe you want to meet someone, have a relationship. Maybe you're in a relationship. Maybe it's something to do with like getting a house or doing something. Are any of you at that stage in your life right now where you feel like just giving up? You like maybe let's say you want to buy a house, but you're struggling to save money and you're going to give up on that. Maybe it's your business and it's not going so well or getting clients, so you're going to give up on it. Maybe you've got a website where you're writing posts and articles, but you're not getting a lot of people visiting and you want to monetize it with advertising and sponsorship, but you haven't got enough visitors to make it feel appealing to potential sponsors. Maybe you've got a YouTube channel and you're not getting many views. And it doesn't have to be just business related. It could be life related. Like I said, weight loss, weight gain, exercising, spending more time with your family, just doing something. Are any of you at that stage where you actually think, oh, I'm going to give up? I've been trying out web design for 3 or 4 years now, and no, it's just not working for me. I have to now explore other things. Maybe AI has got you a bit scared, kind of thing. So if anyone wants to be really honest, just put it down in the comments. I'm not saying it's for us to like laugh at or anything like that, but it's just a bit of a conversational thing in terms of, by the way, I'm looking at a client's website over here because I just need to quickly check something for them. I just want to reassure them because she's about to move house and I want to take a bit of stress off her plate. But is anyone worried about what's going to happen in the next 12 months, next 5 years, even as well? You always have to pivot. Okay. When you start to lose excitement or enjoyment in something, don't be afraid of pivoting away to do something else. Chillstone, my German upbringing is keeping me from giving up. Must be why I am never happy. Yeah, that can be true as well. I think I'm one of those people where I have to hit rock bottom before I give up on something. I always feel like I can save something. Even a sandwich, right? You're making a sandwich or you're cooking a meal and you're already staring at this sandwich and you're like, this does not look good. Or you're cooking and you're like, this is turning into a real mess. I am now going to eat something that looks like how it will probably look when it comes out the other end. This is not looking good, but you try and save it. You go and squirt some ketchup on it just to give it a bit of color or something, or you drop some chilies or peppers onto it. Hey, David Bell, how you doing? Janet, hope you're okay. Sounds like a 2-drink live today. Oh, well, Chris from Liquid Media, how you doing? So has anyone been struggling with web design, business, getting clients, life, relationships, food, money, finances, car, home, gardening, pet, children, wife, husband, partner, parents, grandparents? How far can we go with this? Shopping? Is there something in your life right now that just made you go, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I mean, I know a lot of people who are like, they have blogs, right? Because blogs was the big thing, wasn't it? 10 years ago. Hey, you want to make money? Go and start a blog. That's all good and well, but you got to get visitors. You got to get people that engage. You got to know that if you do go and stick adverts on there, that you're actually going to make a good return on them. So you want to hope that there's a good, exchange rate or however it works with your adverts, what you get paid for it. But then you got to make sure you get enough people visiting. And you could pay to advertise and have people come onto your website. But if they're not engaged, they're very likely not going to care about the adverts. And there are lots of websites out there that have overdone it to death. Some of my favorite websites, like comingsoon.net, which is all about upcoming movies and stuff happening in the entertainment business, especially to do with Star Wars and Marvel and loads of good stuff. They have overdone the advert side of things. Just going to move my microphone a bit. They've overdone it to the point where I hate it when I go to their page and I have to just blink and tap the screen and hope I hit the close button on all the pop-ups that appear and regularly appear as you scroll down. Absolute pain in the ass. And I'm always looking at it and going, you're a really good website. Stop abusing the user experience. Stefano, I know you suggest leaving ownership of plugins hosting to the client, but how would you go about adding the client sites to? Well, what I say, is you go to the client and they can set you up to have like shared access of their account. So what would happen is you will log in and you'll get a message or something that says you can actually see their Google account, basically. So you can go in and set up their Google Search Console and all of that. The alternative method, and you have to be careful with this, is that they give you their login, right? And you go and do it. You set it all up for them, blah, 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 and then they can change their password, or you might have an element of trust. So there's two ways to do it. They can they go in and then they can give shared access for their that side of the Google to you. And then once you've done it, they can remove you. So it all comes down to trust. And I have never had an issue with clients either giving me shared access, or some of them are very happy to give me their full-blown Google login and password, because they know I'll go in, get it done, and I even say to them, look, this won't take up more than like an hour of my time or whatever. And once it's done, I'm out. I'll let you know. You can go and change it. I remove. I'm telling you now, unless I am maintaining a client's website, I do not keep logins and passwords. I remove them, and I remove them good. I don't want to ever be accused of, storing passwords that then someone else went and got hold of, or anything dodgy like that. So that's what you could do. Does anyone want to jump in with a different view to guide Stefano on what they would do? And if anyone is wondering what the hell are you doing because you look like you're looking off screen, I'm just checking something out for one of my clients. She's not even a client, to be honest. It's just someone I've been giving a lot of helping hand to because she was really stuck in the rut with her website. So I'm just trying to guide her a little bit and help support her. Oh, that didn't work. I was doing something and it's not properly worked. That's a bit weird. I think it might be the uploads or something like that. Anyway, so what I have found, though, is that if you use our code snippet, where it reduces your images when you upload to Media Library to be the original size and the 150 by 150, and it does work. If you have another image optimization plugin on your website, you will then still get the duplicates. There's not much I can do about that because I can't predict what else you'll do. So if you've got a plugin that also optimizes images, right, as you upload, and that you use my code snippet, which should restrict your images to just be the original and the 150 by 150 thumbnail, that works. But if you've got image optimization plugin, what happens is that plugin will then also go and create backups and do shit and stuff as well, which is a real pain in the ass, basically. So it kind of undoes a little bit what the code snippet is meant to do, which is why I'm going to be controversial now, why I don't like image optimization plugins. I would rather do it manually with bulk resizephotos.com. TF Vehicle, I want to add the form with PayPal or strip suggestion. Yeah, I've got a video. Go to obviously YouTube, my channel. Go and do a search for calculated logic PayPal. Calculated logic PayPal. I have got a bit of code which will allow you to add the PayPal button and all of that, whatnot, to your accounts and where you want it to go inside of the Elemental form. So we've got a video. I did about 6 or 7 calculated logic videos. I went to town on that series and I had about 6 or 7 videos, but there's a video, a specific one about calculated logic PayPal. Do a search for that and you'll find it. Ivar, great to see you here, my friend. And I hope you're going to enjoy the live chat. So today's topic is kind of like obviously about WordPress, and you can ask questions and I'll try and answer them. But are any of you at that, like, you're at that border at the moment where you've been trying really hard to make it as a business, but you're now starting to feel like it's just not working. It's not bringing in enough money for you. Are any of you struggling? Hey, Samu. Dave says, Dave's been using a tool, is Whisper. Yeah, Whisperflow. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot out there, really. There's quite a lot of different tools you can use. I have found dictation ones, I find I spend more time editing. However, when you think about it, if you're talking and you only edit the bits you need to edit, that's far quicker than you just typing manually anyway, because you're going to have to edit out things anyway. What I do love, though, is talking to ChatGPT. I have lots of fun with that. So sometimes, like, my wife and I might be talking and she'll be like, oh, what do you think we need to do for this situation? Or where is this? Or my son might say something like, Dad, do you know how I would go about this? Or what does this mean? And I'll be like, hold on. And we just open up the app and I'll go blah, 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 and it starts to reel off the answer. And then we ask a further question and it reels off that answer or an opinion or a version of the possible truth. And it's always great to just have that back. And what I love is if I can't be asked to listen to it, I just quickly cancel it and then you quickly read the answer because it still pops it on screen for you. So that is still, I feel like that's a major breakthrough, isn't it? And can you imagine if one day we have like proper humanoid robots? Obviously, they look like they're going to be rolled out soon. God knows how expensive they'll be. But can you imagine if you got robots like your own walking C-3PO and you kind of like go, C-3PO, what's the weather going to be like tomorrow? And they kind of reel it off or tell you. And you go, hey, do you know if there's any really good like holidays for under £1,000 that I can take to go to, say, Iceland to go and see the Northern Lights or something? And it'll be in a nice warm hotel. We've got to make sure that the flights go from, say, this location to that location. And if not, can you give me alternatives? What do you think? And it goes away and does it for you, kind of thing. And it comes back and, you know, maybe potentially even do your bookings for you after you confirm a password. Can you imagine talking to your robot? Okay, do the PayPal. Hold on. And then you got to give it a secret word or something. Otherwise, anyone could go up and say, send money via PayPal to this account. I'm going all over the place here, aren't I? Samu, I struggle to make image dynamic in Elemental Loop Carousel. Well, it all depends on the image. So have you got a custom post type called images? And then inside of there, you've got all of your posts with the image custom field. If you have not got that, then it won't work. So Samu says, I'm using Elemental Pro and WooCommerce product brand taxonomy. And I want to show that brand image in the loop carousel, but there's no option in image dynamic to select that brand image. But that's because your image has to be a custom field, right? Then you've got to make sure your loop grid is using products. Then, I mean, you're using brand taxonomy. Inside of the loop carousel at the top, you have posts, products, post taxonomy, and product taxonomy. To be really sure of exactly what you're doing, someone would have to look at what exactly you've got set up. And it might be that you have to hire someone to have a look or spell it out exactly. I mean, if I was going to go deeper into this, you'd have to hire me to do it, because there comes a point where I can advise, everyone here can advise, hit the like button, everyone. But then sometimes, unless we can see how it's built and what it exactly is, there's only so much we can do. But you can do product taxonomy. You need to go and watch my video on the loop taxonomy. I think it was called loop grid taxonomy, because it was in, let me get this right, it was in April 2024 when that feature was brought out, and I did 2 videos. One really quick one because I was in Edinburgh at the time, so I did it from a hotel room. Do you remember that video last year? And then I did another one, updated one, I think a week later, which was far more in depth. You need to go and watch that because there's a few things you need to do. There's a few steps you need to do, otherwise it won't show for you at all. So go and look at a video I did in, I think it was end of April, mid to end of April. If you go there, you'll see it. But yeah, you should see that. Aditya, will editor v4 compete with Webflow? Well, first question is, why should you care if it does or doesn't? Because you could argue about every other product. Number 2, I don't know because we ain't got it. And number 3, I think it's more about the pseudo classes and the class system. Webflow is much more, I find, of a funky animation kind of tool. That's not to say it's not a page builder for websites, but it's got more happening. It's almost like it's like GSAP and all of that, all of this stuff, React, all of this stuff happening on the fly. Stuff where you would have to do really hardcore coding and really think carefully. It just does in a very clever way. So will V4 compete with Webflow? I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it will. I think Webflow is a different type of audience in terms of building or how you want to build. And like what I said a couple of days ago, I couldn't give a shit about what other page builders do, because I mean, before I would be like, right, Elemental does this, Bricks does this, Gutenberg does this, what about that? What about that? And then but I realized a couple of years ago that why should I care? Who cares? Because that's like saying you could go to Pizza Hut and then say, why does Pizza Hut not do pizzas like Domino's? Then go to Domino's and say, why does Domino's not do pizza like Pizza Hut? Why is it that Pizza Hut have more salad bowl options compared to Domino's where I can't get that? And this and that and the type of sauce. And for me, it's like, you use what you want to use. And Janet's absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, Webflow, you can rebuild basically almost any website out there. You can rebuild in WordPress and Elementor, like Janet says. It's just the amount of time and coding that you're going to have to do trying to recreate a Webflow in WordPress can be quite hectic. Because I was trying it out once and I was looking at something and I thought, there's a load more work. And then I stopped and thought, but why am I even trying to recreate that? Just because Webflow's got a fancy thing going on. And by the way, I don't mean that negatively. I mean anything, right? You could go to any website and they got a funky animation thing going on, right? I mean, like, oh, I want that. Did you really need that? Is that really going to help your business kind of thing? So that's the way I think about it. Webflow, I mean, Webflow is expensive. I agree on that, PK. And Aditya says, and Webflow forces us to host a website in their own hosting. I can't remember exactly the logistics or specifics about the hosting side of it. I never got too deep into it. Looked at it, saw a website, saw what it was doing, and then I tried to see how could I recreate some effects. And then I realized, God, this is taking a load of time to do and coding. And this was before AI, by the way. And even with AI, I just feel like, why do I want to recreate something that actually I would never use? It will make a fantastic video, but even then, there might only be 100 people that really wanted it. That's not great for 3 or 4 days worth of work. PK, why do it when you can do it on WordPress? Also, Webflow will cost you more in long term. Yeah, Edward Summerfield, did you take a look at Droip? Is this something good? No, I didn't. And here's the thing, right? I must get about 5 to 7-ish emails every day with people saying, do you want to look at my plugin? Do you want to look at my solution? I've got something that's really good for newsletters. I've got something really good for WooCommerce. I've got something really good for posts and AI and this and that and that. And they offer me licenses. They offer me discounts. They offer me the entire tool. They literally just send it with a dummy login, whatever, to really go to town on it. And they want me to do a review. Well, they don't always say review. They go, if you like it, please do a review. And I have to just sort of go, I've got a lot on my plate. Like, I do the live chats, but this is my downtime a little bit. This is like my relaxation time, but I'm not having to do something else. Believe it or not, doing this is quite easy and simple. I'm not actually manually hard thinking, mentally taxing myself to solve something, even though we do try and answer questions here. But the minute I have to start looking at another tool or something else, unless I have a burning ambition or desire, unless I have a burning desire to look at it, because the benefit of that plugin or tool or whatever, could even be a template, is going to be a game changer for me or my clients or even for you, I just don't. And I've always said this, right? If I get an email and the company explains what it does, and some of them do, not all do, most do, and that opening paragraph, couple of paragraphs, does not convince me about why this is worth my time, I delete it. I don't even reply to them. I don't even say thank you, but I haven't got to. No, I just delete it. I don't care, right? I'm not even going to spend time typing a reply because that's my time. And I've always said this, if you can't convince me in that paragraph, right? It's like literary agents, right? They walk into a room and there's loads of people that have written their book. If you can't give the elevator pitch, if you can't within 30, 40 words convince someone, oh, I want to read your book. Oh, I like the sound of that movie. Oh, I'm interested. You've lost them. They don't care. They don't care if your book goes on to do really well. No, you lost them in that moment. So really short answer, Edward, no. Droip. But it is, I just wanted to put some meat behind why I've not, because I've got loads of stuff on, right? And today's live chat, I was going to go earlier, but I had some other stuff I wanted to do. Jumped on at 3. In about 40 minutes, when we hit 4 p.m. in the UK, I will drop out. I'm going to have to go and do other stuff with my family, son, and whatever, and loads of other stuff. Go and cook my meal. Maybe cook my meal. Well, I'll see what I want to do. Respect. Can I use the code you provide in my articles? Huh? Can I use the code you provide in my articles? What does that mean, Respect? What articles? Which code? Hey, Beatrice, hope you're okay. PK, it's also limited. It's not that much use if the company goes down. WordPress. Yeah, look, I think Webflow is here for the long game, right? I can't see Webflow disappearing anytime soon. I think they've got a user base, a very protective user base of their product. And again, I've heard things about their community being very strict. And if anyone dares to come in who's not a hardcore good on coder developer, they ain't going to like you. In WordPress, we're a little bit more relaxed. That being said, you still have some people, if they find out that you can't use CSS, they talk you down, which I hate. I really hate that, right? I'm no expert on CSS or JavaScript. I know what to do and how to use it and use the bits I need to use. But that's the joy of why we use WordPress. And whenever someone says, oh, you're not that good at coding, I sort of look at them and go, well, why are you using WordPress in the first place? If you're so good at coding, why are you even using a tool, a CMS like this? Why are you not hard coding somewhere else? And then we get into another argument, right? Respect says, no, I mean the PHP code or the JavaScript code you provide on any tutorial. Can I use it? Yeah, of course you can. Look, what I would say, though, is that if you do use any code, it wouldn't be a bad idea to mention where the code came from. You don't have to link back to my video. You don't have to do that. But you can link back to the YouTube channel, if you want. Or even to, no, not the YouTube channel. You can link back to my website, learn.websquadron.co.uk. So learn.websquadron.co.uk. So if you want to do that, okay? But that's okay. That's totally fine. Totally okay. You know, but you don't have to share the actual video I did if you feel like you don't want to do that. Edward, I only work with WordPress and Elementor as a designer. I can build nearly everything with it, but I'm getting annoyed with WordPress, all the updates. Yeah, I mean, I like to have lean and mean websites, okay? So a standard website, which is non-e-commerce, you'll have the Hello theme. That's the theme. Plugins, you'll have Elementor. I mean, I share it on my website. I actually share the plugins, but you're going to have Elementor Pro, Slim SEO. You can have Google Sitekit if you want as well, because it makes the whole connection to Search Console easier. But that's a possible. All-in-one WP. There's a header security plugin I add in as well. There's the WP Malcare. I forget what plugin. Malcare. Hold on. I think that's it. For the non-e-commerce website. Hold on, let me get this right. Elementor Pro, the header security one, Malcare, Slim SEO, Google Sitekit. I think from memory, because I normally have a blueprint, you see. Normally that's it. No, hold on. Can I just open my website? Because I've now actually forgotten what I actually have. I just want to double check. I hate it when this happens to me. My brain kind of goes blank. If you go over to my website, you'll actually see what plugins I use, and I'm going to share it on screen as well, just so that you can see it. Let me just kind of do this, and if I go to Mini-Me, where's Mini-Me? There I am. So I'm just over here at the moment. Right. So if I just scroll down somewhere, there you go, open the plugins pack. If I open that, they're my standard Elementor website plugins. Elementor Free, Elementor Pro, WP Fastest Cache. I don't always use that, so I'll leave it there. FastPress, I do still use that. Yeah, that's it. I forgot the performance plugin. Slim SEO, code snippets. I forgot code snippets. How could I forget code snippets? Like, how stupid of that. I forgot code snippets. Malcare, there's the header security one. Oh, CookieBot as well. So 9 is my core plugin pack. So non-e-commerce 9, and that's it. And a lot of these are pretty safe, right? Now, if you are going to be doing loads of like detailed filtering, then I will go for Grid Builder. WP Sweep, I'll install it and then run it and get rid of it. I don't always use Site Origin CSS, but you can do. But if you are going to have an e-commerce website, so on top of the 9, I'll then have WooCommerce, PayPal, Stripe for WooCommerce if you're going to have Stripe, and then Grid Builder. All of these are optional if you need them. But if anyone wants to know about the plugins I use, go over to the website, scroll down, and you'll find the plugins pack. That's free. Just click it. And if I decide to change the plugins I like to use, I will obviously go and update that list so you get to see what I'm using. Okay, cool. Beatrice said, you mentioned your love for PRNet. No, I've never used, I don't like PRNet Grid. I might have said it a long time ago, but I don't actually like using PRNet Grid. I don't find it intuitive. Has anyone used PRNet Grid? People have asked me this before, but because I don't actively use it on me or my clients' websites, I don't get excited about spending time using it, because then I feel like I've got to spend time making sure I cover off exactly how to use it, what you need to watch out for, the pros and cons, and a real example, then record, then edit. And I look at it and go, unless someone's going to throw money at me or commission me to record it, I just don't see the point of me spending time on it. Have I used the Airlift plugin? I have used the Airlift plugin. I'm still on the wire with that one. I prefer FastPress, if I'm really honest. I'm brutally honest here. I like what that team does with BlogVault, Malcare, WP Remote. I like what they've got. I really do. Airlift, I'm still not convinced with. I'm not totally bought with that. And I still find that fast press is still good. Hey, Jono from South Africa. Daniel. Oh, sorry, I get what you're talking about now. Yes, PK. If you go and look at the percentage of people who use other platforms, you will realize that these 1 to 2% companies do not come close to the resource. No, they don't. They don't. And here's the thing, right? There's a bigger market for WordPress websites. There's more people that'll have a WordPress website. There's a decent chunk with Wix and Squarespace, but I find a lot of my clients were previously Wix or Squarespace. And now they've realized they want more control, or they don't like what they're paying and they're limited and they want to have more, say in the SEO, or they want to advance up with WooCommerce and do other stuff, right? Many have Shopify as well. I've got people who are ex-Shopify. Shopify is great, but there comes a point when you really want to do some funky stuff, but you're limited. And when you try and hire a Shopify developer or designer, they charge a lot because they're so nicheified. But when it comes to WordPress, it ain't hard to find a developer or a designer or someone to work on a website. It ain't difficult, right? There's so many of them. And also the community and the learning. And also when it comes to tutorials, if you go onto YouTube and do a search for Shopify tutorials on bespokeifying what they give you as a standard template, there's not a lot of options out there. There's not a lot of people. The same with Webflow. The same with Wix and Squarespace. You will find videos, but they're very run-of-the-mill, aren't they? They're very like... By the way, I'm not discrediting, because there are some really, really good people. There are some really good people out there. But I find you will find that they teach you a certain way. Whereas in WordPress and Elementor and Bricks and any other page builder, Gutenberg, whatever, there's so many different personalities and ways to achieve something. So I think, is that my son coming home? I think that's Raheem coming home right now. He's probably going to barge through the door. Yeah, it's Raheem coming home. So there's so many different ways to do something. So Beatrice, I've got quite a lot of videos on Grid Builder. So if you do a search for Grid Builder, you'll find them. And they are in the Elementor course as well, or last year's course, or the 2023 version or version 1. Edward, Airlift is fine for websites that never changed. That's the thing, Edward. That's why, you see, I have found, I'm not totally convinced, because I found that it's like the 10 web performance plugin. You get a screenshot that says before score, after score, and then you realize there's actually problems and stuff to do. Are you going to eat something? Talking to my son at the moment. You're going to go eat something. Just eat something. You got to have something to eat. Yeah, I'm live. I am alive, and I am live. But you got to go eat something, all right? What have you done to your hand? Let me see.
The chain in it. So
why did your chain come off?
No, it didn't come off fully. Just,
Have you sorted it?
Yeah, I sorted it.
You know what to do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. Okay, go and eat something. You can't. And by the way, you have to get changed. You can't go out. Yeah, but you have to get changed. But you need to eat something. You can't go out without eating something. All right, cool. All right, remember, 6 o'clock is your cutoff time. Yes, like PK says, a lot of these sites, they are niche, and if you build using one of these other stuff, even some page builders, I'm not going to name some, but there are some page builders, they're very niche. And when you as a business now struggle and you need someone to work on it, the amount of developers that could help you is like a small pool, and they will ask for a lot of money. The My Listing theme, right? I use that a lot. I've helped people out on it. There's a very small pool of developers that know their stuff with it. And what they do is they hang around the My Listing Facebook group. And there's a couple of people that are on there, and I don't like them. And here's why I don't like them. Someone has a problem and they come on going, yeah, all you got to do is da-da-da-da-da, but they never fully explain it, because they know that if that person wants to do it, they're going to have to work with them, and they will charge an arm and a leg to do that work. And they usually get paid because the person is really stuck, because some themes are so nicheified, and that's the danger, right? It's like so many people use the Ray theme or that theme. Unless you know exactly what you're doing with it, You've gone and cornered yourself, right? Which is why I say just use hello if you're going to use Elementor. If you really, really, really need to use a built-up theme or template, stop and ask yourself, are you going to be able to understand how to modify or work with it when you have a problem? Or are you now going to have to rely on a third party that you're going to have to pay and hire to come in and fix your problem? And I think a lot of people forget that. So many times I've come across someone and they got a problem and they're using a theme I've never heard of. And I'm like, unless you're going to pay me to spend time researching the problem, I can't just do a quick fix. And they go, yeah, but you do all these videos, WordPress expert. Why can't you just fix it? And I'm like, because I've never used that theme. I've never used the plugins it came bolted with. So that's the danger, right? With when you nicheify too much. But then the great thing about nicheifying is if you can say, I'm an expert on the My Listing theme, on the Ray theme, on the Astra storefront theme or something like that. I'm an expert on it. When people have a problem, you might get hired and you will be able to demand a higher rate. A Shopify, if you become a major expert on building unique Shopify websites with Shopify, so they might have started off with a template, but now they want to go places and you can do that, you're in the money. When you start advertising yourself on YouTube and LinkedIn and places and say, yeah, I can take this Shopify website that you can get when you pay and turn it into this, you're winning. But but then you got to think, but anyway, yeah, I don't like to say you'll definitely win because you still have to get the clients, but I think you get the idea. Eduardo says he's very excited for Web Studio. I still have to have a look at Web Studio because I have heard quite a bit about it. Well, I've looked at it, but not deep enough. Samu, is that? Yeah, that's my son, by the way, Samu. Yeah. Pulp. Hey, I'm usually working at this time, but I love listening to something useful while I work. Put the volume down, Pulp. All right. By the way, Pulp, when you say, because you got a capital P at the end, I don't think your name, is Pulp, does that stand for something? So is it like, is your surname P and the PUL is actually part of your forename? I always wonder because you got like the capital P at the end as well. I always wonder when I see your name, when I just say Pulp, or do you want me to pronounce it as PULP? PULP Turtle Power. Samu, can we create any kind of custom website with custom UI, with blocks? Look, you can do what you want. You just have to know how you're going to do it. Okay. Think of abstraction laddering. Okay. Imagine you got a ladder, right? And the top of the ladder is what you want to achieve. You want to achieve this website. Okay. And then as you go down the ladder to the point where now you start to look at how am I going to do it? Because the bottom of the ladder is, how do I do this? How do I climb the ladder? And as you get the stages done, you'll hit your goal at the top. So you're somewhere on the ladder and you're thinking about, maybe the Blocksy theme or custom UI and whatever. Why? So rather than saying, can I do this? Why do you need to have a custom website? And what do you mean by custom website? Imagine a client came to all of you and said, I want a custom website with custom UI. Why? What? What is it? What are you trying to achieve? Does that substantiate why you need to do it? Because until you understand that, you won't know what you need to use. Custom post types, ACF, the Blocksy theme. Why can't you just use Elementor? Do you need to use bricks? Can you even do it with WordPress? Of course you can, but what if you couldn't? You got to think about these things. Then once you know that, you start to climb the ladder with popping things in place to achieve the goal. So think very hard about those kind of things. And the question about, which one is better, Elementor or Divi? Silly question, Samu. Silly question. It's like someone saying to you, is Coke better than Pepsi Max? Is Pizza Hut better than Domino's? Is Hollywood better than Bollywood? Do you know what I mean? So it's subjective and nothing is actually better than any other. Really. Like really, 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 right? Oxygen is better than carbon dioxide, of course, but carbon dioxide is better for plants than the oxygen they put out. So you got to think about, what are you trying to achieve? Because I don't think any page builder is better than, there is no page builder that is the ultimate page builder. Plain and simple. Just like WordPress is not the ultimate CMS. There is nothing like that. You know, what you've got to look at is, what do you enjoy? Okay, look, let me break it down, right? I mean, I'll bring it into WordPress, right? I prefer Pepsi Max to Coke because I enjoy the taste more with Pepsi Max. I also enjoy it that Pepsi Max, look, don't start talking about the health risk and all of that. I get that. But Pepsi Max has no sugar. It's got additives and shit, but it's no sugar compared to full fat normal Coke, right? The red stuff, Coca-Cola, right? Pepsi Max tastes far better than Coke Zero. I used to drink Coke Zero, then I switched on to Pepsi Max. So I have found something I like. That doesn't mean, right, that if it was baking hot and I'm outside and it's really hot and I'm tired and sweating, and I went into a shop and they had no Pepsi Max, but they had Coke Zero, I would buy the Coke Zero. Or I'd buy another no sugar caffeinated drink. I would buy what I need to do to satisfy me. So when you come onto WordPress and all of this stuff, right? Divi, Elemental, Bricks, Breakdowns, all of this stuff, whatever page builders there are, none of them is superior, completely superior to the other. Now, some of you will say, yeah, but Bricks has got a better class system. Yes, it has. But we don't know what Elemental will do with V4. But if we forget V4 is even coming, forget V4, right? Some will say Bricks is superior to Elemental. And I know a lot of you will probably agree with that. But I could turn it around and go, yeah, but if I'm passing the website over to a client and they're going to look after it, is Bricks better than Elemental? Is there more risk for breakages? What about Breakdance versus Elemental and Bricks? What about Gutenberg? What about Quickly? What about Spec? All of these other things, right? Whenever someone asks me the question, I literally just look at them and go, why does it matter? You use what you like using, right? And you use what you want to use, right? I drive my car. Is that the best car in the world? No, but I'm happy with it. Okay. And until I'm not happy with it, I won't go and buy another car. Okay. I'm not, just because someone comes along and goes, oh, you've got a BMW 4 Grand Coupe, right? It's a 2020 reg, right? Oh, it's 5 years old now. And the new version of the BMW Series 4 Grand Coupe is amazing. Does that mean I ditch that and go buy that? Well, no, I'm quite happy with that. Or someone comes along and goes, oh, the new Mercedes, oh, it's way better. Fine, you go buy it. You go drive it. That's up to you, right? So what you have to look at is, what are you happy with? What is going to get the job done and satisfy you, and stick with it. If you want to use Divi, use Divi. Go for Divi 5, right? Go for it. If you want to stick with Elemental, you stick with Elemental. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Think of WordPress and page builders and plugins like the choices you make for food. You go to a restaurant with your mates from work, right? And everyone wants to order the buffet. Say you go to a Spanish restaurant, they want the tapas, right? Okay. And I'm like, I don't want the buffet. I want a lamb biryani and shish kebabs. I don't want bits of papadum and bits of veggie and bits of like paneer and bits of this and bits of that. No. I know you all want that because you get to share the price, and you get this like, you know, a la carte, whatever, like you get all, but not a la carte, but you get this like little, you know, meal package with bits of this and dal and stuff, right? And lentils and whatever, right? You get all of that, okay? And your chapatis. I don't want that. I want lamb biryani and that. So I will not go with what the crowd wants. And whenever I used to go out with mates from work, they used to get pissed off at me. Yeah, but Imran, you know, if you joined in, the cost of the meal would work out to £5 a head. Because you're not joining in, it now works out to £6 or £7 a head. Fuck off, I don't care. Because you're complaining about paying £2 extra. I'm going to get my own meal. And my own meal is going to set me back 20 quid. And you're whinging about paying an extra £2 a head. Do you see the logic here? Go with what satisfies you and what you want to enjoy and what you want to work with. And it's not just WordPress, right? It's the food you eat, the drinks you drink, the clothes, the car you drive, where you live, everything you do in life. I hope that made sense. Oh, come on, Nick. If there's no Pepsi Max, you die. No, if there's no Pepsi Max, Nick, and I'm desperate, I will just get a Coke Zero. I won't go with the full sugar. I shouldn't say full fat, but the full sugar Coke, because I'm very careful with my sugar intake. But I'll go with Coke Zero or 7-Up Free, which has got no sugar. Or I'll find another drink, or I'll just resort to water. Sparkling water tastes nasty. But I'll just go with water then, or something like that. Right, quickly going to check the comments, because I was talking a lot over there. And I think I've probably missed a few there. Blaine says, is there a better SMTP option for clients who use GoDaddy? Yeah, look, I would say you use the post SMTP. Make sure you use the Gmail option, and that will sort you out, trust me. Or have you looked at the Elemental sender? Not sender. Site mailer. Elemental site mailer. You could also use that as well. Apple iWeb and Flash. Edward, that brings back nightmares. You know, iPhone, god damn it. And the iMac back then, 2007. And Flash, websites. Pulp, it's just a silly nickname. I'm glad we've clarified that now. I'm going to skip down some of the comments a little bit more. Hey, John, how are you now? You want some food? See what I mean, John? I get people thinking. When I do live chats, I'm not here to make you go, you got to do this and you got to do that, you know, and I'm now going to make you feel really bad if you don't follow this and you don't follow that. None of that. We live it. We living it real here, okay? But yeah, John, I mean, I'm hungry as well, just talking about it. Floyd, how you doing? Sorry, Floyd. Floyd and John were probably here a while ago, and I'm now just saying hello now. There you go, Blaine. Use Site Mailer. Or if that's not really cutting it for you in whatever aspect, Post SMTP, free plugin. Use that. The worst stuff, though, is when a client has GoDaddy and their email is Hotmail. GoDaddy hosting and Hotmail email do not work. So you got to then, when you're doing Post SMTP, use the Gmail client, get them to set up a Gmail account. And then what happens is it uses that to push emails from a GoDaddy hosted website to their Hotmail. So it still goes to Hotmail, still goes there, but it's got to go through the Gmail client and you'll be fine. Yeah? But that's the worst thing I've experienced with a couple of clients. They're hosting on GoDaddy and they've got a Hotmail email. Who still uses Hotmail? Like, obviously legacy, I get it. Take care, Edward. Great having you here, and I hope you enjoyed the time you spent here. And I hope I haven't caused any trauma in your life while you've been participating in this live chat. Curtis says that Imran's Elemental, well, it's not mine, but my tutorials have helped you to see how to bridge the gap between leveraging CSS code while using Elemental's Visual Builder. Exactly, and that's what I love, that a lot of the coding I've taken from someone else and adapted or built from scratch or just used some logical CSS process has eliminated the need for a lot of third-party plugins. And that's not because I don't have anything against third-party plugins, but like what I showed you earlier with my 9 lean and mean plugins for an Elemental website and the extra 2 or 3 I'll add on if you have a WooCommerce. So even then, with an e-commerce website, there might be 12 or 13 plugins in total. Keep it lean and mean. The less plugins you add, the less bloated your website becomes, the less chance of it falling over when there's an update, and you have so much more control. And it can also mean there's less licenses to worry about, you know, because at the moment with my websites, my licenses are Elemental Pro. Because when you look at everything else I've got on there, unless I use Grid Builder, my only license is Elemental Pro. Obviously, you got your hosting and all of that. That's separate. But you keep it lean and mean. Easier to manage. So much easier to manage. In fact, on a lot of my websites and client websites, every plugin is set to auto update, except Elementor, Elementor Pro, and WooCommerce, right? Everything else is auto update. Because I know there was one time where, what was it? Grid Builder. They did an update and it crashed out a website and I had to roll back. And it's because Grid Builder had a problem. But normally everything's all right. But Elementor, Elementor Pro, WooCommerce, and WordPress never have them as an auto update. So if your host provider currently automatically updates, never do that. All right. Always take a backup before you run an update for WordPress, the core WordPress, WooCommerce, because they could easily change and something might snap and fall over and you're then waiting for the sub update. Elementor Pro, or do it on a staging site, or like me, I've got a dummy website that's got like 45, 50 plugins. I've hammered it with loads of plugins, right? So any plugins I've ever used or may use or our client sites, they're all on this one website. So when the updates come in, I run them and I can very quickly see, is the website okay? The website's okay with 45, 50 plugins. Do you know what I mean? It's my ultimate stress test, and it works for me pretty well. BT Internet. I used to have BT Internet as well. Imran at btinternet.com. And then I got rid of it because the amount of junk I used to get through there used to kill me. It became junkified and spamified. And I stopped using that email. Oh, goodness me. 15 years ago, I think it is now. Hey, John Ferris, just noticed you're here. How you doing? Chris Lava, how do you deal with a client that is not only picky on how everything looks with responsive sizes, but also zooms? Look, there comes a point, right, where you could take a perfect website, zoom in, and it won't look right. You can add an accessibility plugin and you zoom in, it don't look right. You hit contrast, it don't look right. You need to maybe analyze, like, what is the problem from desktop to tablet to mobile, right? Forget extra breakpoints. If you start to build for horizontal tablet and horizontal mobile, you're going to be working to the nth degree, right? Sometimes you need to look at percentages in terms of maybe paddings or font clamp responsiveness and image sizing and stuff like that. Or maybe be very prescriptive, but also think about your layout. A lot of people build full width and then they complain when they look at it on a widescreen monitor. And you kind of go, well, yeah, on a 49-inch widescreen, right? Something's over here and something's over there, and you got this dead space in the middle. Well, that's what kind of happens. Or like Dave says, browser is set to 150%. That, again, also can be a problem, especially with the resolution. And when you say no, 100%, they're like, oh, it's too small. And then you're trying to explain to them, yeah, but that's the resolution. You got a 4K monitor, but you want it all zoomed out and everything or whatever kind of thing, right? PK, my sites have about 10 plugins. Exactly. Keep it lean and mean. And a lot of people, you're absolutely right, that do blame Elementor. It's because they have a lot of third-party Elementor add-ons, or they've got Jetpack. Jetpack is one of the most obvious culprits when there's an update, and it's Jetpack. Or, of course, my least favorite theme, Ocean WP. Right? There too. But so many people have third-party add-ons, and then it breaks. Then they go, oh, what's Elementor done? And you go, yeah, because you got Happy add-on, or you got Essential add-on, or Ultimate add-on, or whatever. And then they go, yeah, but Elementor need to fix it. Why do Elementor need to fix it? It's for the third party. Yeah, but they should have warned the third party. How do you know they didn't? How do you know they didn't give them 2 weeks notice or did an advance warning of what was coming up? We have the beta version. Have you forgotten? So many people forget this. I get really wound up by this whenever someone goes, I just ran the update and it broke. Oh, my website's dead. And then I go, well, what have you got? oh, I've got this theme and this plugin and that plugin and no, 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 no. And I'm like, well, you should have waited. No, but Elementor, you should have fixed it. No, they don't. It's not for Elementor to do it. And you are totally forgetting. Elementor, 9 times out of 10, will have a beta version before. That beta version's out. Why did the third-party add-on not test out the beta version with their plugins? Because something's been deprecated and has changed, maybe a class name or something. They should be in sync, in tune. They should be ready. So the moment that the public version is released, they react. It's not for Elementor, the third-party add-ons. And I think people need to start acknowledging that. It doesn't get spoken about, but it really gets on my nerves, right? Version 3.27, right? The beta version, 2-3 weeks, and it's out there. Why are the third-party add-ons not... Why are they waiting to react? They need to be reacting in a proactive way when the beta came out. And of course, the beta could change. It will do. You'll have beta 32.0, then 32.1. Even the betas change. But the fundamentals of that, especially when a feature or a setting has been deprecated and is no longer going to be present, or a class name switches, something else, they should be reacting to it. They should be on it, but they don't. Some of them are really good, right? But there are some plugins, third-party add-ons, always, always, always fall over if you go and rush to update. And I always say, don't rush to update. Wait 1 week. Did you need that new feature that's just come out in Elementor? Did you really need it? Was your website and your client's website desperate for that new feature? Was it desperate for it? If not, wait a week and test it out. Plain and simple. Yeah, Chris Lever. Yeah, font clamp sizing is usually one of the best ways. And you know the formula for font clamp, the formula for your sizing, you can use it for your fonts, your margin, your padding, your image sizes, your icon sizes, your divider line sizes. You can use it so many places. You can even use it for line height. Did you know that? You can do that. So if you want to do stuff to make it super responsive, you can use the clamp. And I've done it on a website where we had an image, right? And it was quite big. But when we went to mobile, we wanted to maintain the layout because we had some words here and an image, right? And what I didn't want is for it to do this on the mobile. So by using the clamp, it basically went from like that and it shrunk down to like that. And it still looked and worked well. It was legible, the words were, and the image as well. It maintained the look of it. And that's what you got to do. People think the clamp formula is just for fonts. It's not. It's a formula that you can use for sizing the width of your image, the height of your image, all of that you can handle. CM, who thinks Elementor is sneaky about making money with plugins like Ali? Well, I see the point, but they're a business. And what I always say is this. If you don't, here's how I see it, right? If you don't want to use the Ali plugin, the accessibility one, don't use it. Use something else, right? If you don't want to use Elementor Pro, don't use it. If you don't want to get a Bricks lifetime license, don't use it. I mean, I do agree with you. I would have preferred it if there wasn't like a license, but I wouldn't call it greedy. I wouldn't call it greedy. I would just say that it's an option because it's built to work alongside Elementor in a way. But I would say that if you don't like it, you don't use it. Too many people jump onto this thing, right? Like where they go, look, think of it like this, right? Think of it like this, okay? If I go to Domino's and I want a pizza and I'm paying £13 for a large pizza, right? Spicy beef, jalapeno peppers, and I say to them, can you do more? No, let me give you another example. Because toppings, right? Subway, right? Subway, chicken tikka baguette, right? And I say I want a bit more cheese. They might charge me double cheese. Are they greedy? No. You wanted it, you pay for it. I want a bit more chicken. Oh no, that's now double chicken. You pay for it, right? You got pizza? and you want a bit more toppings and whatever, they might take one off, but they might say, yeah, I know this pizza came with peppers and jalapeno peppers. No, it came with onions and peppers, but you don't want the onions, but you do want double meat. Just because we remove the onion doesn't mean you get the double beef for free. You got to pay for it. And that's how it is. That's how it is. That's life. That's no different to your client saying, so I've paid for a website to be built, but now I want da 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 da. Do you just give it for free? Or do you charge them? It's business 101. It's not greed. It's called getting something back in return for what you put out there. So I would say it would have been nice. I'm not going to lie. But I would say if they want to do it, they do it. If you don't want to use it, just use something else. You know, it's like Sure Triggers and all of that and Shortcut, right? If you don't want to pay for Shortcut, you continue using WooCommerce. Curtis says it's called greed. I don't know. I call it business. I call it business. You know, I like some people will email me. They've watched a video and they go, Imran, this ain't working. I've got a problem here or whatever. How do I sort it? And I just literally say, if you want me to look at it deeper for you on your site, you got to pay me for it. That's me being greedy. That is greed because they've watched my video. They're struggling to make it work and they want me to help them out. You could call me greedy for saying you got to pay for it. If you want me to work with you, you got to pay for it. No, it's business 101. It's protected time. You are right, Curtis, though. You are right. It can be greed. But I would say, unfortunately, if you want to make profit and you want to make a living, you have to be greedy. You have to. Otherwise, you get caught in the trap where you start to give things away like for free. But like I said, you don't have to use Ali. You can go and use something else as well. Alex, sorry. I always say Design Flicks because your name's up there. Is there a way to do a sticky header, but the main heady sticker only on scroll up, then have a second sticky section that sits under the main header? You might need to post a question in the Web Squadron group with a scribble. Can you do a scribble to exactly explain? Because I think what you're saying is you'll have a sticky header, right? But then scrolls up and then have a second sticky header. You can do, yeah. You can have it as a Z index right behind. And then what happens is when you've scrolled up and you've passed your hero section, then this other header appears with some clever Z indexing. So you have two headers, right? You got a header, you got your hero section, and you make sure your hero section is like Z index 2. And then you've got this other header, which is Z index 1, and it's behind it, but it's sticky. So as you scroll down, that then latches onto the top and it becomes visible. So Z indexing and you could be fine. Sandra Bot, how do you handle malware attacks? Malcare plugin. BitNinja, there's loads of stuff out there. Like you said, not Permastack, PatchStack. But I recommend the WP Malcare plugin. I think that's really good. You do have to subscribe if you want to get additional support, but you can use that for free, and you'll be totally fine. I have been live now for 1 hour, 3 minutes, so I'm going to end in a little bit. Alex, you can't tag me. I've now decided, Alex, that if anyone tags me on any forum, I will not respond. I've decided. I think I've said it for a while, but I'm getting fed up of people tagging me because if people want to work with me, they need to pay for it. But a lot of people don't. So if I see a question and I've got the time to answer, I do. But the thing that annoys me the most, not you, but I'm just saying the thing that annoys me the most is people tagging me because I feel like they've added this undue pressure for me now to go in and read the notification and reply. So tag me will put me off totally. So I say, don't tag me. When I see it, I'll have a quick check. But like I said, Z indexing, and you should be fine. Pulp, just an observation. Just an observation. I feel like Crocoblock plugins can make anything happen in WordPress element. That's literally all my... Yeah, they can. Crocoblock can. There's a learning curve, though. You can't deny there's a learning curve with Crocoblock. But once you get it, the whole jet engine, the filters, the appointment booking, there's so much you can do. But there is a learning curve. Yeah? But it is good. Right, everyone, I'm going to jump off now. All right, I'm feeling a bit hungry. I need to go and check a few things out. I can hear my wife doing something in the kitchen. It sounds like she's smashing something. But I'll be back. Will I be back tomorrow? I might do. I might see if I'm back tomorrow. But don't forget, I did a whole suite of Crocoblock videos as well. I think it was January 2024. And I covered off loads of stuff. Anyway, look, smash the like button. Keep watching the videos. We've got some really good stuff coming out over the next few weeks. And I'll see you soon. Chillster, Essential Add-ons, is it buggy? I think all of the third-party add-ons can become buggy. They have so many widgets. And what you've really got to stop and think about is, was the widget in the third-party plugin so fundamentally important that you had to get it and use it? Or could you have just worked with what you get with Elementor Pro and use some of the funky code snippets or CSS code to do something a bit different? Ask yourself that. Client wanted this. Did they really need it? Did they really, really, really need that feature? Was it going to make or break the conversion or the flow or the user experience? If not, get rid of it. I'm Imran from Web Squadron. Like, subscribe, share, and follow. I hope you enjoy the no crap, no bullshit, keep it real, hardcore, explicit live chat. Even though it's not explicit, but you know what I mean. Take care. See you soon. Bye.